Hello, my beautiful souls. Welcome to the Oracle of the Light channel. My name is SP Psychic Medium. Thank you for joining us, everyone watching around the world. So lovely to join us. So I'm going to get straight into this. The Sycamore Gap. So recently, there's only about, I think, 2 days ago or so, there were the pair that cut the tree down have finally actually been found guilty. Let me just put everyone in the picture. For those watching around the world, there was a beautiful tree. I think it was around the Cumbria area of England, and it was this beautiful valley. And within this beautiful valley is a magnificent tree. And it was really a landmark. It's a place where people would get engaged. It was just a place where people would see in the new year. It was just an iconic location. It really, really was, which was a very, very old tree in the center of this valley, you know. Sorry? Next to the Hadrian's Wall as well. That's right. Hadrian's Wall actually passed right beside the tree as well. So just so many amazing things about this tree, you know. And just crazily, two people decided to cut it down as an act of violence, really. Horrific. Why on earth you would want to do such a thing still puzzles me to this day. But justice is being served. And those two men have actually been found guilty of that act of mindless destruction. I should say I'm taking this from a BBC article by Duncan Leatherhead. I'll put a link to it in the description of this video. Two men have been found guilty of mindless destruction of the world famous Sycamore Gap. And just so you know, the tree had grown on this dip in Hadrian's Wall in Northumberland for 100 years. Before it was cut down in what was described as a moronic mission in the early hours of September the 28th, 2023, it was, okay? So the two people that did it were called Daniel and Adam, that's the names of them, and from Cumbria, they're both from, and they've actually been convicted of 2 counts of criminal damage. The prosecutors in the case said the pair carried out the mindless thuggery as a bit of a laugh, which is just ridiculous. The jurors took about 5 hours to reach their verdicts, and both men were remanded into custody for their own protection ahead of sentencing on the 15th of July. People do really need to understand that although this is just a tree in the valley, it's way more than that, you know. It is an iconic location. It was like the heart was cut out of Northumberland, really, when this tree was felled, you know. Such a mindless act of destruction, and this is why they had to be kept in custody, because it's really hurt a lot of people, you know. And the value of the tree had previously been estimated at £620,000, but that figure is now in dispute exactly what it's worth. Of course, it's actually, its cost isn't really, you can't put a cost on it really, because it is only that one tree. You can't, you know. Apparently though, people have tried to get saplings off that same tree, I believe, you know. And apparently as well, they say that the value of the tree won't actually affect what the sentence is, but they say the sentence could be up to 10 years in prison, the court heard. That's, of course, up to 10 years. So there's no fixed amount of time of the sentence at the moment. The tree was planted in the 1800s, and there was a huge feature of that landscape. And also, the two that actually were involved in the cutting the tree down, ironically, have now fallen out with each other, you know. So, yeah, quite ironic, really. And as I say, this has taken a whole century to grow, and also it's just in such a beautiful place, you know. So also as well, as I'm just going through everything in this case and everything, a spokesperson said that the tree was an emblem for the northeast of England and was a backdrop to many personal memories. And, you know, but there is a positive legacy. Apparently, there are 49 saplings that have been grown from this tree, and they are to be distributed to charities and organizations, you know. So a silver lining to everything, you could look at that, really, but really you can't bring that tree back. It doesn't bring that back. It doesn't, you know, I think the only thing that needs to happen now is that these two men like face the consequences of their actions is what needs to happen, you know. You cut down an iconic tree, then you're going to obviously deal with the consequences, you know. Some people may say, well, it's only a tree, but it's an iconic tree, isn't it? It's like the heart of that area for the people, you know. It was 100 years old, that tree, you know. You can't simply just grow one back in a week, you know. So hopefully the sentence will reflect the magnitude of what they did, you know. And apparently the Superintendent Kevin Waring of Northumbria Police, he also said no explanation has ever been offered for the felling. And he says also, but there never could be a justifiable one. That's right. You never can really justify such an action like this, you know, such mindless vandalism. And you know, people need to face the consequences of their actions, you know. So an interesting subject today. Of course, all readings are for entertainment purposes only, as you always know, those that watch this channel. And also as well, so what question are we going to be looking at today then? So let me just have a look at the question. We've got two questions today. The first one we're going to look at is, what is the people's response to the verdict? So let's see what the card say at this moment. So obviously the verdict is they are guilty. What is people's response to that? Of course, we don't know what the sentence will be yet until July. And so the second question is going to be, will the sentence be an appropriate one? Let's see what the cards say at this moment, okay? So some interesting questions, okay? And as we're going off the tree and nature, I feel it only right to start with rocks on this reading today. I'm going to be using a number of rocks for this reading because rocks are from the earth, the trees from the earth. And so it only feels the right thing to do to work with rocks. Of course, going to be working with the Oracle of the Light. I may get a tarot card. We'll see how I feel. That's how I go. I just go with how I'm drawn to, everyone. That's how I work with this, okay? But in this bag, just so you know, there are lots and lots of different rocks. You can see those different, I don't want to drop it on my computer, but let me move my computer down. There are lots of different rocks you can see. This is just a handful. There's a whole bag full. Oh, sorry about that. I apologize that for everybody. I should have had it on silent. So people are rocking out to get in touch, everybody. So let's get going with this reading then, okay? So as I say, all readings for entertainment purposes only. So first question then. What is the people's response to the verdict? Let's just move that down there a minute. You can see the bag. Let's get these. Okay, so these are our rocks today. So first of all, I'm going to start with, well, as you can see, we've got these in a bit of an order here. I'm going to go along this way with them. I'll pick them up and hold them and show you the camera. So what is people's response to the verdict? Okay, so first of all, this one is, I think people are pleased with the fact that they've been found guilty, but I think that also, because I'm aware of like frosted glass with that, so things are a bit unclear. I think people are a bit unclear with what the verdict will really truly be, if that makes sense, because I'm seeing that as like frosted glass. It's almost like a crystal-like one, but it's a slightly frosted sort of color. And for me, things aren't quite clear at the moment what way this actual sentencing will go. And I know that's the second question, but I feel that almost this is like we're going to be going through these two questions at the same time. So I feel that what will people's response to be? I think people are standing up tall. That's a standing up tall stone. Do you see that? So people are quite happy. People are like, yes, good. This is good. I'm pleased that they've been found guilty for it. Okay. Now, interestingly, this one here. Now, I think this almost represents the Hadrian's Wall. Do you see that? And it was lying it was lying. So we've almost got what we've got here is two rocks at each side of the valley, and it feels like we've almost got like a layout of where the tree would have been. We've got Hadrian's Wall here, and we've got three here Okay, now I'm really drawn with these rocks the way this is. This feels like Hadrian's Wall. This feels like people. I think this stone recognizes the fact that it's kind of like almost shaped like a heart. Can you see that shape there? It almost is like a heart, and this is representative of what the tree meant to people. There's the landmark of Hadrian's Wall. There's the landmark of it being in the valley. It was where there was a lot of people. They asked each other to marry each other there. It was just had a lot of meaning to a lot of people. A lot of people's hearts were where this tree was. So I think a lot of people. It really touched a lot of people's hearts. Did this actual case? And I feel that people are very, very happy that they've been found guilty. I think that's a very good thing. Now, in terms of will this sentence be an appropriate one, I really need to say that the number 3 is coming out strongly in here, and I'm not just saying that for the sake of it. It feels like the number 3 is coming out now. This could be. Though I know there was 2 people involved in the case, but the third one could be the tree. Maybe the 3 is connecting to the 2 people and the tree that were there, looking as the tree as a being, which it is because it has a heart. It's touched people's hearts. So there's this 3 coming out. It could even relate to sentencing. I don't know. But it feels like a sense of 3 being important, the number 3 is important here. So will the sentence be an appropriate one? I would hope it is. Now, as we go on to the next one, though, people's response to the verdict. So I think this is to do with people involved with the case. I do feel that there's the 2 men and then the tree, and interestingly, you've got that right next to where the Hadrian's Wall. And that's how they actually hit the desk. That was how they hit our lovely table here. That actually was where they sat there, which is really quite interesting, Now, also the last rock here is almost like a crystal as well, and this is, I feel, about the sense of the sense of how this tree is. It's touched a lot of people's hearts. The light's gone out, but I feel I do need to say, so the color red references the hurt. I feel, and I feel that it's like this one, people, it wasn't so clear, like shadowed glass. This one is more like, I feel, a sense of people are still hurting from it. People are still hurting from it. That's sorry. Yeah, it's quite raw. Yeah, and so I feel that it mustn't be underestimated, the sense of but how raw this is for people, and I feel that there's just a sense of how raw people are, very raw about it, and people are very, very it's touched a lot of people's hearts, and it's gone very, very deep, and I think that there's a lot of people that are pleased that they've been found guilty, and we'll want them to serve the whole 10 years, definitely. And I think that's just stating that, really. That's just saying that the importance of it, I'm going to get an Oracle of the Light card now as well, as to what people response to the verdict is. So, just having a shuffle of them. So, what is people's response to the verdict? So, we're an upside down, humble strength. So, I feel, so people's response to the verdict is they've seen that I think people are pleased, and this is a sense of the people that did it are weak. This is the weakness of the people that did it. They're very weak people. They are not humble, because I don't think they've even admitted it. And there's a sense of the sense of weakness that, and they're not humble people, that are very arrogant, weak people, very, lacking of a lot, I feel, you know, and I think that's so. The people's response to the verdict is a very happy one. I want to get one more card out as well, and that's infinite reach. Now that tells me that this is all like a weakening and a infinite reach. The opposite way around is to do with like isolation. So they're wanting them to be locked up for a long time, you know. Definitely they're wanting them to be locked up for a long time. That's what those two cards are. Okay, so next we're going to look at will the sentence be an appropriate one? So let's get some rocks out for that. So will the sentence be an appropriate one? Grabbing some rocks. Okay. We have these two rocks here. So I feel, first of all, I feel that this was the first one I want to go to, which is this. So will it be an appropriate one? Yes, I do feel it will be. I feel it's going to get to the point, is what I feel, this sentence. The sentence is going to get to the point of it. But I feel there's something to do with someone else, almost like feels like it's having an input on this, you know. So this was maybe involved with the trial or something, but there's someone feeding in something about it which was significant to the sentencing. So that might come out later on down when the full case is explained. But there's something to do with someone else feeding in some information about it that might have had an impact on the final outcome of their judgment. And of course, might impact also their sentencing, you know. So it's quite interesting, that one. And also, will it be an appropriate one? Yes, I feel it will be, because this is a stone also that shows it's like almost been burnt and hurt, you know. See, all those marks represent being hurt as well. So this is, I think that it feels like that the hurt that this action has caused is going to be referenced here in the sentencing. It feels like, you know, because there's a lot of hurt from this, you know, and this rock is very much of that. Can you see all of that darkness on the rock and those holes in the rock, you know? Definitely very, yeah, really sort of hurt that, you know. I'm also going to get us an Oracle of the Light card too. I'm also having an upside down one of bridges, upside down bridges card. The sentence, this is definitely an isolation card. This is, so the bridges card is a connecting card primarily, but when it comes upside down, it's the opposite is the case, isolation about this, which is actually makes sense when we talk about a sentence in jail, you know. A jail is a place of isolation that creates isolation. Yeah, the building even in this card could be a prison. It even looks a bit prison-like in a way, you know. Definitely, yeah. So yeah, definitely. It feels like definitely prison is on the way, without a doubt, you know. With that card, so I feel like I don't want to get one with these. I feel I just want to get one of them, and it feels to me like the sentence is going to be appropriate, especially down to this hurt. You know, got a lot of hurt, and also for the information that's been put in as well. You know. That information that's come into it there, you know. So interestingly as well, as I'm seeing these two cards together as well, these could even be bridges on this rock here. And you see how one of them is breaking the bridge on that second one. So this could almost be like that isolation thing on this one, how you have on this rock here, you've got like one complete bridge just there. And then you've got the second line, which is sort of dying away, like the bridges are being cut off and dying away. So yeah, I feel there's a connection between these two here, interestingly. And going back to the first question as a quick summary as well, what will the people's response to the verdict? People are standing up strong and tall and pleased that they're getting the right verdict. This is just stating the significance of where the tree was, but significance of 3 as well is important here. I think that's to do with the tree and the two men, seeing the tree as a person, and also seeing the true impact of this crime, you know, and how hurt people have been. Like people are bleeding in their hearts almost, you know. Really is, you know. Also, as well, we have the upside down humble strength. These people are weak that did this, very weak. And and yeah, very not humble at all, you know, quite the opposite. And infinite reach means that the isolation is on the way for them too, you know. So yeah, interesting reading, everyone, and really interesting the fact with all of what the Rock said as well, you know. So I do hope you enjoyed it, everybody. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe below. I do hope you enjoyed all my videos. Don't forget the sentencing for this is going to be in July, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. Do keep an eye on it, everybody. But thank you so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed the video. And with lots of love and light from the Oracle of the Light, I will see you all really, really soon. Take care, everybody. See ya.